Hey TCS TV viewers, it's Dave and Evelyn from the camera store.
And today we're coming to you from the beautiful Rockies because we have the brand new Olympus OMD E-M1 Mark III. The Olympus E-M1 series has been long overdue for an upgrade. It's been about 4 years since the Mark II came out, and we're seeing a lot of monumental changes and upgrades to the camera system, but they haven't upgraded everything.
Now about a year ago, Olympus released the E-M1X, which was their physically biggest camera they've ever released. It's not something Olympus is known for, but they had a lot of cutting edge technology, and that's found its way into this new camera.
Yeah, we're really excited to see a lot of these features re-engineered into the smaller form factor. So we have Olympus's really portable, compact system with some new enhancements.
Walking around with the E-M1 Mark III, I'm really impressed with a lot of features that it has. Now, a lot of them are trickle-down features from its big brother, the E-M1X, which was a huge camera, and it wasn't something I wanted to carry around all the time. Having a lot of the features like a built-in ND filter and a high-res mode that I can do handheld into a smaller form factor makes this a real pleasure to use. Now, we are using the same sensor that was in the E-M1X. Now, it is a micro four thirds sensor giving us 20 megapixels of resolution, but what's nice is we have a brand new processor. We now have the TruePix iX processor, which is a single processor but promises much faster speeds. That's given us the options like having a high-res mode and a built-in ND filter and up to 15 frames per second. It's a very potent package in a much smaller form factor that I can carry around with me without any issue.
There's a lot of things that I really like about the E-M1 series, and ergonomics is definitely one of them. Their cameras always feel really nice in the hand, and especially because this is a really compact, lightweight body, having a good, solid grip is really important, and I think they've really nailed that. I also have really enjoyed using a lot of these dedicated buttons, and having things like a dedicated ISO button, proper dials, and having a lot of external controls makes it possible to actually shoot in the cold weather using gloves. You don't always have to rely on the touch screen. Now, in terms of the touch screen, we have a fully articulating screen, and it's 3 inches. It's not an improvement over the E-M1 Mark II. It's still about 1 million dots, and it's 3 inches across, but having that articulating screen is really nice. Now, when we look at things like the electronic viewfinder, they haven't made any improvements there either. It's still 2.36 million dots, and compared to what else is on the market right now, that's a fairly low resolution electronic viewfinder. I also find that the color gamut, the contrast, it's not as good as a lot of electronic viewfinders that we've seen, and it would have been really nice for Olympus to improve that, especially because they've made such huge advancements in their other technology. One of the other things that Olympus always has done really well with their micro four thirds sensors is providing an image stabilized camera system. This camera has 7 stops of in-body image stabilization, and so it kind of overcomes the challenge of shooting in low light scenarios with a micro four thirds sensor. And if you pair it with 2 of the lenses that sync the image stabilization, you actually get up to 7.5 stops. And so this is great for both photography and video. One of the other things that I love about Olympus cameras is their weather sealing, and Olympus actually put a rating on this camera. It's IPX1, which means it can handle a downpour of rain, or, you know, being in Alberta, we could get hit with a blizzard pretty much at any time. And so if that happened today, I'd have no problem still having the camera out and shooting with it. And we've done some terrible things to their cameras. We've brought them out in -40, we've put them through dust, and they've all held up really, really well. And so I think Olympus cameras are excellent for people that are really outdoorsy and they want something that's lightweight. I mean, this is only 580 grams with the battery. And for someone that's, 7 months pregnant, or if you have a bad back, being able to have a really lightweight body that's weather sealed is a huge deal.
The video on this camera is really quite good. We are capable of shooting 4K in 30 frames per second with 422 8-bit. Now, if you want to get a little faster frame rate, we got to step it down to 1080, which gives us 120 frames per second. So video specs aside, as far as a video platform goes, this does give us some really cool tools, including that very good stabilization for handheld recording video, which is really nice. Now, I do like that it has 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone jack and a fully articulating screen for getting those harder to reach angles. As you can see, the autofocus during video works very well.
With this new processor, we're finding that the autofocus is improved over the Mark II. It does really well for face and eye detection, and it's taking advantage of this hybrid system that uses 121 on-chip phase detection autofocus points. They're all cross-type, and it also uses contrast detect to make some micro adjustments. Now, the one place where Olympus is a little bit behind the pack is with tracking autofocus. And so if you're doing some more high-speed action type stuff, you can shoot it really fast, but the autofocus doesn't always keep up compared to a lot of the competition. If you are shooting any kind of fast action, you have lots of choice when it comes to your frame rates. In mechanical, you can shoot up to 15 frames per second, and in electronic, we found that the best mode was in the electronic low continuous shooting at 18 frames per second, and that still gave you continuous tracking as well as exposure adjustments while you're shooting your sequence. Now, if you wanted to go crazy, you can even shoot up to 60 frames per second, but the tracking only works up until you hit that first frame, and then your focus is locked. One of the things that the dual processors on the E-M1X has over the E-M1 Mark III is the ability to use AI-built profiles for tracking. At the moment, they're still only able to track planes, trains, and automobiles using those modes, but the idea behind it was that they're eventually going to add more profiles for things like wildlife and birds. And so that's one limitation with the autofocus system that this camera has by only having the one processor. I think one of the major takeaways that I have with this camera, especially in terms of the autofocus system, is that I prefer the experience over using, say, Panasonic's DFD autofocus system that always has a little bit of that pulse. I find that it feels more accurate because you're actually seeing what you're autofocusing on.
Yeah, it's a very nice responsive autofocus system.
Yeah, and it's really cool. They've added some new features to it. And one of them we haven't talked about yet is called the Starry Sky autofocus. And this is really neat because it takes away one of the most challenging aspects of astrophotography.
And that's trying to focus on an actual star and trying to get really, really sharp. It's always been a challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's because normally you have to do it manually by finding one of the brightest stars in the sky and then manually focusing on it. Sometimes you have this floating infinity on your lens, and so it can be really tough getting that focus, especially when you're in the cold Canadian winter and you're trying to do it in the mountains. But in this case, I'm really excited about this because you can go out there, you can go into this mode, and you can put the little box around one of the brighter stars. You can either do that handheld or on your tripod, and then you can start shooting away, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Now, I'm finding walking around with this camera, the features that I love about this, like the built-in ND filter. I love having not to have to screw in any extra filters to the end of my lens. If I want to shoot waterfalls or anything like that, I got 5 stops of ND filter built into the camera. It's all done digitally, but it works, it's quite effective.
Yeah, it's great because you can either travel without those items, so this becomes a really great travel tool.
Yeah, now we also have the high-res mode, and you can do it through the handheld mode, which works great because it's shockingly good. Because 20 megapixels is quite a decent enough resolution for most people's needs, but if I come across something that I really like to get more or higher res, or I want to do a big print later on, I can go to that handheld high-res and get 50 megapixels. And if that's not enough, and I want us to come to a tripod, I can get an 80 megapixel file out of this camera. One thing that does surprise me with this camera is that it does have dual SD card slots, but only one of them is UHS 2 compatible. And that means if I'm running a redundant card system, it's only going to write as fast as the slowest card, and that might slow things down a little bit.
Another thing is that I'm happy that this camera does have a grip that does give you vertical and horizontal control, but you don't get the joystick on the grip.
That seems like a complete oversight. I don't understand why they would do that.
Overall though, I think Olympus has done a lot of things right. They've made kind of a niche camera system with some interesting tech. I love that it's weather sealed, and they've done a really good job making a camera that feels really good and is extremely lightweight.
Yeah, they've created a very versatile tool. That's a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really good travel camera. Maybe one of the best ones that's out there. And so we want to know, what do you guys think? Is Micro Four Thirds system still compelling? Do you think the features that they've packed into it still make it a really interesting option? Let us know by commenting below.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so we can catch you again very soon.
Hey, you're still here. Check out our most recent episode right here, and more information about the camera store up here.